For 45 years, two superpowers pointed enough nuclear weapons at each other to end civilization, 12 times over, and somehow they never pulled the trigger. That wasn't luck, or was it? The Cold War was a 45-year standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union, born from the ruins of World War II. Two incompatible visions of the world: democracy versus communism, capitalism versus the state, and enough nuclear warheads to end human life on Earth several times over. It produced proxy wars in Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Angola, Nicaragua. It produced the Berlin Wall, the space race, McCarthyism, and the near apocalypse of the Cuban Missile Crisis. But the missiles never flew. The big war never came. Now imagine it did. It's October 1962. The Cuban Missile Crisis is at its peak. Soviet submarines are being depth-charged by the U.S. Navy. Cut off from communication, the crew believes war has already started. 2 of 3 officers vote to launch a nuclear torpedo. The third, Vasili Arkhipov, says no. In our alternate timeline, he says yes. The torpedo hits a U.S. destroyer. Washington receives the news. President Kennedy, already under enormous pressure from military advisors to strike, authorizes a retaliatory strike on Soviet ships. Moscow interprets this as the beginning of a full nuclear exchange. They launch. Within 72 hours, major American and Soviet cities are gone. New York, Washington, Moscow, Leningrad, Chicago. The death toll in the first week, 100 million people. But that's not the end. That's the beginning. Nuclear winter sets in within months. The debris from the explosions blocks sunlight globally. Crops fail. Temperatures drop. The planet enters a famine cycle that kills more people than the bombs themselves. Estimates range from 1 to 2 billion dead within 5 years. Europe, caught between the two powers, is devastated. NATO countries that were targeted in Soviet first strikes, gone. The UK, France, West Germany, irradiated. China, which had its own nuclear weapons by 1964, navigates a shattered world as the last major power standing. In this post-nuclear world, China doesn't become the world's factory, it becomes the world's government. The United States, even in a damaged state, does not disappear. America's geography, 2 oceans, dispersed population centers, gives it survivability that no other major power has. But the America that emerges is unrecognizable. No consumer economy, no Hollywood, no Silicon Valley. A militarized, survival-focused state rebuilding from ash. Here's the piece that nobody thinks about. Nuclear war in 1962 means no internet. The ARPANET, the precursor to the internet, wasn't built until 1969. The researchers who built it at universities across the U.S., gone. The personal computer revolution of the 1980s never happens. The smartphone, social media, streaming, e-commerce, none of it exists. Humanity in 2026 in this timeline is not debating AI taking jobs. It's debating how to grow food in soil that was irradiated 60 years ago. One man, one vote, one word: no. Vasili Arkhipov died in 1998. He was never widely celebrated in his lifetime. He saved the world, and almost nobody knew. History turns on moments so small they don't even make the newspaper. What if then would? Subscribe. Because the closest we ever came to the end is a story that not enough people know.